of meat and memorials. Soon we swing into the high, where we pass the covered market on the left, and I can smell the sweet smell of raw meat. As I savor this, the guide is telling us that the first spire we pass is that of Lincoln College Library, which had been a church. I bet he won't tell the story that I know about Lincoln. He blahs a bit more, but doesn't tell the secret I know. As it may still be classified information, I will just ask for my editor to put it in the footnotes. Chatham House rule and all that. You can use the story, but never, ever, ever reveal your source. The secret that Simeon knows about Lincoln College is that John Wesley, who was a famous Methodist preacher, used to be a fellow of Lincoln College. And in the mid-1950s, a group of American Methodists wanted to pay for the refurbishing of his old room in Lincoln College. The college thought this was a good idea, and so they went ahead and refurbished the room where John Wesley used to live. But a while later, a historian by the name of Vivian Green discovered that actually the room that was refurbished wasn't the room that John Wesley used to live in. So the wrong room had been refurbished, but the college did not tell the American donors who had paid for the refurbishment. The bus pulls in under a lot of ugly heads. The Queen of Hearts has been here and has had them chopped off and turned into stone. We're outside Brasenose College, where David Cameron studied political, philosophical, and economical ergos and egos. PPEEE or something like that. It's also where William Webb Ellis studied, though I guess he spent a lot of time playing his fancy new game of rugby. John Fox was a student here too, of Fox's Book of Martyrs fame. He had a son called Simeon, who is buried in St. Paul's Cathedral. I wonder if I could be buried there. Or perhaps I'll be buried in King's College, Cambridge, where Charles of this ilk is buried. We Simeons are a noble breed, as reflected in our noble ecclesiastical resting places. I'm still thinking about my burial place and the location of a possible memorial when the bus tour guide interrupts. He shows us a statue opposite, high up on a wall of Oriel College. It's of Cecil Rhodes, after whom Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, was named. A few years ago, some students wanted all Cecil's statues around the world to be taken down because of the Western imperialism he represented. They called their campaign Rhodes Must Fall. I heard about it on the BBC News. The funny thing is that the student who led the Oxford campaign was himself a Rhodes Scholar, so Cecil's money had paid for him to be here. What should he do with his scholarship? More widely, how should Cecil's money best be spent? A Hogwarts spell could not launder it. The issue is tangled and complicated, and too hard for me to work out. I'm glad my Rhodes Scholar friends have come to Oxford. I add Cecil to my agenda with the White Rabbit. Oh, I do hope the White Rabbit will like me, as I'm a dusky cat. On our left, we're passing the University Church, where C.S. Lewis preached, and a lot of other famous people preached too. I wonder if C.S. Lewis preached about Aslan. The tour guide said there was a kangaroo court there when the Oxford martyrs were tried 500 years ago. I didn't know there were kangaroos in Oxford those days. I'm learning lots on this bus. Ah, there's is University College on the right, where C.S. Lewis was a student, and Stephen Hawking, and where Bill Clinton was a Rhodes Scholar. Mr. Bean, and why laptops have disappeared. And now we're outside the Queen's College. I thought this was named after the Queen of Hearts, but I was wrong. It was named after Queen Philippa, the wife of Edward III. This is where Mr. Bean studied electrical engineering. What puzzles me is how easy it is to get a master's degree in electrical engineering in Oxford, when you can't even change a plug. At least I can't imagine that Mr. Bean could, without electrocuting himself. It's the same college where Sir Tim Berners-Lee studied. He made the World Wide Web look very complicated with all this HTTP / stuff and nonsense. For myself, I prefer simplicity. So I just use 2 rules of number: add and multiply. Subtraction is for losers. And who needs division if you don't want to share? I'm certainly not sharing my spoils with Polly or Freddie. Prof. Berners-Lee was the first person in the world to get onto the web. But I'm surprised it took him 15 whole years after he graduated. Most people I know in Kidlington can get online in seconds. There are millions of cats on the web, I being one of the foremost. While we can now become famous around the world, the cost has been high. For the web has reversed the meaning of one of the most important words in the whole wide world. That word is laptop. It used to mean a comfortable place for a cat to curl up. Now it means no place for a cat to curl up. Sir Timothy seems to have achieved this change almost single-handedly. Being a cat of mature years, I like to bring mature reflection. And on balance, after careful consideration, I hate him. We need to take better care of our words, and we need to be alert to what technology is doing in the home. There may be lots of cat videos on the web, but real cats are not digital cats. Real cats need real laps to curl up on.